Good morning. It's Friday, August 16th. And back in June, when President Joe Biden had planned that his presidential debate was going to be a turning point in the election, it certainly did turn, but it didn't turn well for Joe Biden. He showed the nation that he had lost something over the last couple of years. And so the pressure was on him, and we all know the results of that pressure. He ended up stepping aside and allowing Kamala Harris to become the Democratic Party presidential candidate. And now Donald Trump is facing a similar situation, because he is betting that he can reverse his loss of popularity by debating Kamala Harris on ABC next month. The date of that debate will be September 10th. Now, Trump, faced with the fact that Kamala Harris has pulled slightly ahead of him, reversing the trend that was created by Joe Biden. And so Trump clearly believes that he has to stop the trend that Kamala Harris has put upon him. And he doesn't believe that he will suffer the kind of debacle that did Biden's campaign. But his decision and the call for another 2 debates on NBC and Fox, which Harris hasn't agreed to yet, tells an emerging truth about the election. This is no longer a runaway for Trump. He's got to fight now to win this election. Now, after Harris spent a barnstorming week with her new running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Trump feels that he has become old news. And that's a crushing experience for a man with an ego as large as Trump's. It's a new experience for the ex-president, who believes that he is the one that should be driving the narrative. And now he finds himself trailing, so to speak, in the race, not driving the narrative, not being the leader of the pack. And that must be galling him. So he's got to come to this debate on September 10th prepared to fight. He's not going to have the easy time that he had with Joe Biden. Kamala Harris is relatively young compared to Biden and Trump. And she's energetic. She has a lot of energy. And she presents herself as somebody who knows what's going on and has a ready smile. So she is prepared. She is not going to be knocked over very easily by being in the presence of Donald. So this debate on the 10th is critical, much more critical for Trump than it is for Harris, because she has to just prove that she's alive and well and can do the job. But Trump has to recover from this period of time, and he has to come to this debate prepared to overcome the surge of what I will call popularity that has evolved with Harris and her running mate, Tim Walz. Trump suddenly looks like old news. And that is a crushing experience for an ex-president who prides himself on being the leader, on driving the narrative. But now he finds himself in the position of a leftover, somebody who has fallen slightly behind in the race. So this debate will be a huge test for both candidates. And make no mistake, the build-up for this event on September 10th will be intense. Assuming it goes ahead, will be intense. And the truncated nature of the new campaign means it could create another historic pivot point on the dwindling road to the White House. Trump is already playing his idiosyncratic expectation game of denigrating the skills of the opponent, who could be the first woman to be elected president. And forget about her color. She is a competent person. She has an outstanding career where she rose through the ranks to become the vice president. So Trump's game of denigrating the skills of his opponent will be useless against this first black woman and South Asian who is clearly competent enough to be president. And if Trump thinks that he can say she's actually not as smart as Biden is, he's way off base. He said that. And he also said that Biden wasn't very smart either. He said, I'm not a big fan of Biden's brain. But the man beat him at the election. The man was smart enough to beat him. So where does he stand in this brain criteria? It really doesn't matter. Because Trump has his way of doing things. And his way of doing things is to lie as much as possible. He stole over 33,000 lives in the last year or so. So why would anybody listen to him when it comes to talking about his opponents in the presidential race? One cannot expect him to tell the truth. He should button down and brace himself for a tough campaign. And he has to prove to the world that he has accomplishments that make him worthy of the presidency. Not the way he acted in his first term, where anybody that disagreed with him was fired. And he had only yes men working for him. Trump has to wise up and understand that he doesn't know everything. And there are many people out there who would be willing to help him, competent people. But those people would be crossed off the list because they would represent some kind of competition, some kind of evidence that Trump is not as great and as smart as he believes he is. So this campaign is boiling down now to Trump having to face up to the fact that he is being opposed by people who can do the job. So I leave you with that this morning. Have a great day. Bye.